to sort of kick me off in going, various directions. But anyway, thank you. Thanks for doing this. It's really nice.
You're welcome. I mean, thanks to Eloisa for inviting me. So
yeah.
Okay, we're starting the transmission, YouTube transmission too, so other people can join us. Maybe we can see them here on Zoom, but they will be catching up all the presentation from Cuba and group on there. Thank you.
sounds good.
Oh, this session will be recorded. Okay. Who else would like to introduce yourself, please? We have Molly Cooperman and Helen Wong. Please, Molly, are you there? And Tuna Coast. Yes, please.
Hi. Yeah, I just follow Cecilia on Twitter and just really like all the things that she's doing. So I'm really interested. I work at youth robotics class I'm from Canada in Salmon Arm, BC, British Columbia. Thank you for this.
Thank you for coming, Molly.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Tonya. Hi.
Hi. Hello. Hi. I'm an elementary teacher from Southern California. I teach a robotics class at school in the mornings and also the afternoons. I am a huge admirer of Cecilia's. Like, she's like kind of made my interest even like more just to the, I don't know what level I'm at now, but whenever Cecilia posts things on Twitter, I'm just like in awe. So I came here to listen to her, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Hi,
There's a lot of fans. Yes. Jasmine, hi.
Hello. Sorry, I just got the Zoom call.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Jasmine?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Florentine. I am a freelancer who does a bunch of stuff in STEM education, and I like combining art and engineering, which is why I think everything Cecilia does is really amazing and beautiful, and is one of the examples whenever people talk about like, oh, how do you combine art and engineering? I'm like, look at her website and everything she makes. So I'm very excited to hear more about what she's got to say in her journey.
Oh, it seems that's all right with the transmission. People are catching up the session. Good. Yes, some tests, yes, we're all always learning together. Okay, who else wants to introduce yourself? Helen, I think it's missing. Helen. Hi, Helen. Turn on your micro, please. Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to meet Cecilia and everybody else in person, kind of through Zoom. So I found Cecilia through Twitter as well, and I'm just inspired. And Jasmine and Tanya, I'm glad to see you guys in person too, finally. But I'm a STEAM volunteer teacher at my kids' school. I've just been inspired by everybody's work to kind of bring robotics, coding to the K-8. So good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Thank you. Oh, we have also Julia Olivares from Italy. Maybe one of you already know her. And José Michel from Brazil. Julia, can you turn on your video, please? Or please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm an illustrator and author, and I am also developing apps for kids, for little kids. And my character is Lola Slug.
Thanks, Julia. Julia is an artist.
I will turn on my, okay, my
Yes.
video.
Yes, yes. I didn't know if you could. Yes.
Sorry, I
Yes. Hi,
just
Julia. Nice to
joined,
see you.
and I don't know what you are speaking about right now, so
We're
I'm
just
listening.
introducing each
Okay,
other,
okay.
saying something, where you're from, what you do, things like that. Yes,
Okay.
just to meet each other, learn a little bit from each other, because we have a lot of people from different parts today, so it's great.
Yes.
Julia is an artist, an illustrator, and creates a huge personal. That's why I invited her, especially for this session, because I think you'll have too much to exchange.
Yes.
Right?
I think so.
Thanks for coming, Julia.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
And also we have Michelle from Brazil.
Hi, good morning. Oh, guys, it's a pleasure to meet with you. Well, I'm an old engineer, and I changed my life some years ago to be a maker. I'm trying to show the maker movement for disabled people, and I work at a time in Tech Shop USA, and I build my makerspace here in São Paulo, and for a lot of issues, including the pandemics, I need to close the makerspace. No, and again I live in Brazil, very close from Luisa. We are
a coincidence.
almost neighbors, but we don't meet personally yet. It really is a pleasure to listen to Cecilia and learn something that I suppose he has.
Thank you, Michelle. So
I need to choose my camera or a good connection. Então,
no, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
We can see you. Yes, that's fine. We can listen to you. Fine. So, Cecilia, welcome. I think, it's a very happy day today. We have so nice and happy faces here. This is so good for us all. Yes. So please, Cecilia, it's up to you now.
Okay. So before I start my presentation, just so you see my face, I'm Cecilia Oliveira Hillway. I usually just go by Hillway because people have trouble with the double last name. So that's what some people get confused. But anyway, so I'm a maker and an artist and an educator. So let me share my screen. Okay, so let me actually see what I'm sharing because, okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to talk about combining art and technology, and but in order to do that, I'm going to talk about my background a bit because I did not start my journey trying to be an educator. It was quite a happenstance. So anyway, I was born and raised in Mexico City, Mexico. And this is my family. They'll want like I'm sharing this photo, but the little kid with the blonde hair, that's me. I'm the youngest out of 5. My parents, wonderful parents. They were both computer programmers and did systems like information and computing systems for different companies. They worked really hard, but I was, youngest out of 5 again. So money was tight, but my parents always had this philosophy that education was the best thing they could ever give us. So they made sure that we went to the best schools they could barely afford. And they gave us access to things like TV in English. And if I wanted a book in English, they're like, yes, please. They wanted to make sure our future went well, which worked out for all of my siblings and myself. And so as computer programmers, they tried teaching me how to program, but honestly, I didn't like it much. It was too boring. It was too abstract, too, kind of dry. So what I liked to do on the computer was draw. And like I said, money was tight. So we had a very old computer. Even by the standards of the time, it was very old. So all these drawings were just with the keyboard. I didn't even have a mouse. So it was just with the keyboard. And I was a bit of a tomboy. So G.I. Joe and stuff like that. That was my thing, right? So growing up, drawing has always been my passion, drawing, sketching, like I have tons of things like that. So as I got older, I had to decide on a career, right? What am I going to study? And but the only thing I knew I liked was drawing. So my family was very concerned because in Mexico, illustration is not really a career, a viable career, because in Mexico, they don't really produce a lot of books, illustrated books. You have to work for other international companies. But anyway, I digress. So they told me, why don't you study graphic design? Because it has more options, right? So I studied graphic design. I found that I am not very passionate about typography. I couldn't care less about layouts. I do not like making logos. So any assignment that they gave me, I just tried to sneak in drawings to them because that's what I liked, right? But what I did learn, and I guess my parents were right in this regard with graphic design, the software. I found that I was very good with the software, and my classmates even paid me to make stuff for them. So at the very last year of being studying graphic design, I had a lot of free time. So I was playing video games online. And then the summer that I graduated, my brother was like, he was living in San Francisco at the time, my oldest brother. So he's like, why don't you come and visit? And so I did. And it turns out one of my friends from playing online became my husband. And he is from the USA. So I moved to the USA. So now I'm living in California, right? I'm like, okay, so this is great. I dislike graphic design, but I need to have a career. So I'm trying to figure things out. And my mother-in-law told me, why don't you, in the meantime, try to be a teacher's assistant? So she worked at a school. She's a teacher. So at the school she worked at, they always have openings for teacher's assistants. So I'm like, sure, why not? So I found that I really enjoy working with kids. This little silly drawing is, kids would give me prompts to draw. Like, okay, so I want a muffin lion being ridden by an apple, and myself as a superhero, like the kid who's asking. And then so they would just keep doing these things. And there's something about children. My experience is mainly elementary school, by the way. So it's about 6 years old, all the way through 14. That's usually my experience. So sorry about if you're interested in high school. That's not what I do. So anyway, so I found that I really enjoyed working with students, but I didn't want to teach. I like supporting teachers. I never intended to be a teacher myself, right? So while at the same school, I ended up going to IT support, and which, you know, it worked great because I'm good with computers, but they had an open call for after school teaching because they wanted more after school teachers. And I found that we had a software installed at the school that wasn't being used, which was animation-ish. So like, I would have loved this as a kid. I want to make sure that the kids get these kinds of things. So this is just a little sample from that class. Sorry. Okay, so like I said, I did not set out to be a teacher. I was never interested in getting a teaching credential or studying to be a teacher. I just happened to see things that I would have loved as a kid, and seeing that the school was not offering those things. So I'm like, I can do that, I guess. I can try. So then Scratch came along. And I was fascinated as a graphic designer. I had used Flash before, so and like I said, I tried some coding before, but was not in love with it. So this was perfect. It's like animation, and it's coding, and it's beautiful, and I fell in love with Scratch. So I started teaching Scratch in after school settings. So Scratch was really like the beginning of my maker journey. Sorry, just silly clips. So again, coding is not, coding for coding's sake is not my thing. So what I always found an excuse to combine art. So I would have like little drawings and animations, and this was a sample because sixth grade was learning about the Hobbit. So I'm like, sure, I'll have like a little Hobbit thing. But like I said, it's one of those things where, to me, it's just an excuse to be silly. So I just like playing around with art and technology, and I found that students really respond to that. So okay, so then my husband got a job in Los Angeles, so we moved to LA, and I started working at a different school. This is a portrait I made of my boss at the time, Adrienne Caulfield, who wonderful person. She introduced me to a whole lot of things because she was interested in starting a makerspace at the school. So she's like, let's learn together about all these things. We took a class on Coursera from the Tinkering Studio. I really recommend it. You should try it. And we tried, like I said, learning together different things. And I found this thing online because I was really researching on everything maker, and I found the Hummingbird Kids, which like let you do robotics, and they were programmed in Scratch at the time. So I was like, wow, this is like perfect because I had tried Arduino and all those things, and they just hadn't really clicked with me. So the hummingbird was like, this is great. So this is the first robot I built. I made it as a sample for students because I wanted to learn before teaching. So first little guy. It's me like learning how to take videos too. My work, it has a light sensor and a sound sensor. Like I said, coding through Scratch, which I really, it was the perfect marriage for me because it had, I could do something physical and with art and coding, but it was simple coding. I didn't have to learn a new language for it. So based on my work, this is what students came up with. This is 6th grade. Again, this was the very first class that both Adrian and I had ever taught for robotics with hummingbirds. So we were very excited. We ran out of time a lot, but we enjoyed it. And we tried to link it to the curriculum. So this was about ancient civilizations in 6th grade. And the hummingbirds could be wireless and coded on the iPad at the time. So that's what this is. I apologize, the video is a bit long. Okay. The students picked a creature from mythology and they made their things. We found that some students were really into it and some not so much. I mean, I just skipped to the end here because it's a long video. Oh, come on. Okay. We also tried just with solar. So with solar by robots. So this was also combining art and technology, and the kids got to do their little craters, and we just added the solar panels. We explained how solar panels worked. So, and then they got to test them out. It was just, you know, for me, very rewarding because I always go through like, I would have loved this as a kid. So this is why I do things. Then I moved to a different school because it was Los Angeles and I needed something closer to home because it was just too hectic, right? Los Angeles. So then I worked with Dr. Patterson, who introduced me to a whole other world of making because he was really interested in puppet making. And so a lot of what we worked at the Makerspace was integrating performance and videos with maker ideas. So this is a silly sample we made. It doesn't have video, but so the project was for sixth graders to do a news report on Egypt. And this is just a puppet that he had, but the students actually made their own puppets with their faces. So it was it was very interesting. It was I was very fortunate to have both the experiences with Adrian Caulfield and Dr. Patterson, because it was completely separate personality styles and teaching styles. So it was just fascinating. At that school, I also helped assisted teachers with curriculum integration with technology. So we did a lot of animation because that's my thing, but also Minecraft, escape rooms, stuff like that. So I again helped teachers out, and this is just a little sample with first grade.
Hi, my name is Teddy. Hi, my name is Zoe. Hi, my name is Ray. Hi, my name is Kavya. Hi, my name is Elijah. Hi, my name is
So
Whitney.
really the point is just to have students enjoy the process, because art makes learning technology a little easier, I think.
Hi, my name is Jack. My name is Tolly. My name is Camille. Hi, my name is Jason. Hi, my name is Deidre. My name is Bella. Hi, my name is Lex. Hi, my name is Abigail. Hi, my name is Jay.
So,
Hi, my name is
why is that doing that? So this time we were also doing toy take aparts and rebuilding. So this is the first project I made with once the hummingbird was with had the microbit access. So it was just a little sample for kids. So like, okay, so you can combine the things that you did. So it was one of my first projects with them. Just again, a sample of toy take apart and putting it back together. So Dr. Patterson was supportive of again, he liked showcasing stuff. So he's the one who actually got me into Twitter, and he suggested, why don't you do the mini maker fair? So this was the first time I showed my little creations in public. You can see that I didn't have that many at the time, but and this was like my first maker outing. So then LA was great for job opportunities, but honestly it was driving me crazy. It's kind of soul sucking. And so we ended up moving to the Pacific Northwest so we could have more nature, more access to just fresh air, calm, quiet. It was a big gamble, but it worked. So I started, this was the first robot that combined watercolor paintings, which I've been working on for a long time, with electronics. So this is a character from the Dark Crystal, which I just saw it. I'm like, I want to make my own sort of puppet. This was a huge step forward for me because I was combining more art and my illustration side with the electronic side. So, for me, this was like a big step forward. And then something happened. So the 2020 happened, and then I went on a making spree, honestly. So So I started making different robots and putting them all on Twitter. My idea, even though I didn't have connections with people because I was in the middle of nowhere again, like if I shared my robots and I shared how to make them, people would connect with that and they could, again, I love working with teachers. So it's like, okay, so if I show this, maybe they can show their students. So that has always been like a goal for me, because I don't think I'm particularly a good teacher. I love what I make and I want to spread it, but again, I just had no interest in being a teacher. So for me, working with teachers is always amazing. Let's see. So this is another thing. So I thought with the hummingbird, I'm thinking still with teachers, like if they made, they were talking about biomes and stuff like that. Each kid could make their own robot and put it together. So at this time I was not working at a school anymore. I was working just at a library, but I'm still thinking if teachers see this, maybe they'll get inspired and they'll make this. Again, for me, the pandemic was like, okay, I have to keep making things or I'll go crazy. So I just kept doing things. So at this point by putting my stuff on Twitter, I was actually contacted from a Makerspace to teach there. I was aware that they existed, but I didn't think they did children classes. So I was very surprised and I'm like, yes, I would love to do that. So these are samples from students from my summer camp. Again, it's like I'm very interested in integrating technology and art, and some students who wouldn't see themselves in robotics, I really respond to this because they're like, gosh, I like making cute little things, so I can just try this. I love this one. He ran out of time to actually glue it together, but it's so cute. I had kids and parents tell me, you know what, I would have never even tried this because I'm more of an artsy student. So with the technology, I didn't think that would be something they would be interested in doing. But when you combine both art and technology to make something, I've also been teaching video game making classes, which I guess it ties a bit to Scratch from my beginnings. Again, any excuse, the top one is our drawings of mine, just because I take any excuse to make more drawings. When students ask me like, but how do I get that good? I always show them this photo. This is a few years back, so I even have even more stuff now. But I told them, like, these are just sketches and drawings that I've done throughout my life. I didn't start drawing, like you see now. I just really enjoyed it, so I kept doing it. So anyway, let's stop sharing, and I will now. Yes, Maureen, that was Sam Patterson. So I can take any questions, but in the meantime, I can show some of my robots live. So let me.
Cecilia,
Yes.
It's so much stuff. I wonder if someone wants to make a question before the big moment or comment something by now. Do you wants to say something? Just check. Please feel free.
Yeah, feel free, or I'll just keep chatting away and boring you
I
with.
had a comment. I was just gonna say that, like, what the stuff you make is obviously amazing, but it's amazing to also see what your students make. Like, it's really clear that you're really inspiring them, because the creativity of everything you've shared has just been really amazing. Like, you know, whatever, when you're showing them your work, like, some of that is clearly going on to them. I don't know if you have any advice on to like what seems to work to get them to be so creative, or if it's enough to just show them like what you do.
Well, you know, it's funny because I think a lot of the times they get inspired when they see how passionate you are. That's the thing. So like, I always show them, okay, I love making stuff. This is things that you can make. And a lot of the times I make things that will respond to me. Like, I keep talking like in graphic design, we call it, I'm my own target audience, because I make things that, you know, that I like, and the kids really respond to that. They respond to seeing, you know, creativity, and they're like, oh gosh, I could do something like that. And also, since I always talk about art, I think I attract the students who are more into art. So anyway,
Exactly. The kids, I think the kids can feel this passion and all this energy, and they get so involved in all this and started doing. It's not obligation, it's a party, it's a lot of fun, so that's make all the difference, I think so.
Yeah, and you know, again, I'm sharing everything on Twitter, because I again think like, okay, maybe people will see it and they will make it better. They will teach their students. They can show these to students and inspire them, because, you know, that's I think that's my goal, to just have somebody else do it better, inspire everyone else. So all right, so this little thing is my little avatar that I made. And you know, I love lip syncing. I've done a lot of projects lip syncing. So the way this works, I have a little remote controller with a microbit that is responding to the sound of my voice. I'm making the servo change. See if I can show you. So if you see in the back, there's a little servo that is responding to the volume of my voice. So I'm gonna turn this off or it will drive me crazy.
The mechanism that's in there is for the gear and the ratchet.
This?
Yes. Did you make that or purchase that?
I actually purchased it because I was looking for something exactly like that, and it's from Keytronic.
Keytronic?
And I actually think I have one that is not open. Let me see if I can show it. Hold on a second. So I can show you how it looks like.
Okay.
So they sell it. It's a Keytronic kit for linear servo. So it comes with a tiny little servo and the things.
So it does come with a servo. Okay.
It's one of those things where I saw it and I immediately knew what I wanted to do with it. I get those moments a lot. Like this bear, I saw it being sold at Target, and I'm like, I want to do something with him. And at the time, I didn't have the knowledge. Let me see if this will work.
It's amazing.
Okay, so this again has a sound sensor. So he's again picking the sound of my voice. He is endless hours of entertainment for me, because he's just, this is the kind of thing I'm telling you about. I make things to amuse myself, and people respond well to it. So this was sold as a mounted head for kids decor, which is kind of weird, but for kids room. And I just like hollowed it out, added the microcontroller, and it has a piece, a servo thing here. So anyway, this was what is by far one of my favorite projects, because it's just too amusing. Let's see what else. I'll just keep showing you things unless you ask me for something specific.
Do you leave your creations assembled, or do you reuse servo motors, for other projects?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you leave all your projects assembled? Do you leave the electronics inside, or do you reuse servo motors for other projects?
Well, that's a good question. I actually don't for the most part. I just have a few that I keep everything, because some I've shown for like at a museum and stuff. So I keep the electronics, but I have a bunch of robots that I can't show you right now, just because they no longer work. They don't have the microcontroller, but
right.
If possible, I just leave the motors in, so they can at least like I can connect the microcontroller later, and they still have the motors in. So the price of them is just basically the servos.
Right. Yeah, with my classes, because the materials rotate to the next class. Mm-hmm. All of the electronics have to come out. So yeah. I found that if I wrap the servo motors with duct tape and then let them hot glue in place on a block of wood, they're held really securely. Mm-hmm. And that way the tape can be easily removed. I don't have hot glue residue on the servo motors. Makes a significant difference.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Like, for example, the Makerspace where I am, like we have to tell the parents beforehand, like they won't be taking this home, right? Because like they're used to the Makerspace where they just make their stuff and they take it home. Like, that's not going to happen. They can take what they made, but with minus the electronics. So, right. So the last day we have a showcase for the parents to see what they're made. They take the videos and stuff, and then we take them apart. They take what they made, but I keep all the electronics. So that's one way I found to keep the classes at the Makerspace a little cheaper, because they don't have to purchase the electronics, which
right.
One of those things I somehow always ended up working at schools with a lot of budget, but I still think of little me who wouldn't have been able to afford all this. So I try to make sure, like, okay, are they gonna have scholarships? Are we gonna have easier ways? I just started thinking, like, I need to make projects where you don't use as many motors, or you use as little technology as possible. Like, they still work, but so I keep that in mind, because like I said, like I think like, oh, I would not have been able to afford this when I was a kid. I would still love this, but like I would really respond to it, but I would not have been able to afford it. So I tried to make with the avatars, I have a version where it's just the microbit, so it doesn't have the microcontroller. So yeah, I'm trying to be mindful about that.
Right, right.
So let me see if there are any questions on the chat. Oh yeah, I did show the whale.
Your whale was an inspiration for one of my students. It was amazing.
That was so much fun. And again, I try to make sure that I share my process because, it's one thing like you suddenly see it and it's, beautiful and stuff, but I made a video, I don't know if you saw it, where I show all the bloopers where the whale keeps falling down. It keeps, just because I want to make it approachable, like it. What I do looks so in the end, like for kids, like, oh, this is a little too refined. Mm-hmm. And that's my worry. Like, instead of inspiring them, I'll intimidate them. But I that's why I keep sharing what didn't work, the process, so they know that that you can do things and it gets there slowly, and you'll fail and fail again, but you have to keep trying. Right. Kathy, you were asking about the programming language. Scratch, it doesn't work with this anymore, but it's a Scratch-like language. It's a make code, and Hummingbird also has a little app that is basically Scratch. So it's still block coding. I don't. I've learned some of the regular coding, but honestly, block coding is just so much easier for me because I'm a very visual person. So and I know what makes sense to me, like the sentence, like when this will happen, if then, that makes perfect sense to me. But learning the syntax to code typing, just it's like a stop for me, like I can't just go smoothly. So it works for me, and it works. I found a lot of the students who are more into art, and they don't care about learning all those coding things like typing, but they will like make an effort with the coding blocks if it'll make their creation come to life. So so I think again, combining art and technology makes projects approachable for kids who would otherwise not be interested. So anyway, I don't know if anybody else has a question.
Yes, let's speak.
Yeah, when you were showing the bear in the corner of the screen, that you had the frog band. Mm-hmm. That was the inspiration for my circus trains that I started having my students do.
Well, that, Jasmine, who's here, and we've started a wonderful community online where there's people. Oh, sorry, that was not the right thing. We're like Twitter challenges.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
This was the Microbit virtual parade.
Yes.
So yeah, like that is just wonderful to me. The community, we inspire each other, and what you're saying, that you got inspired and you have your students like that, to me, like that makes it all worth it. It's like, yes, that's just the best part.
Yeah, we followed it up with a showcase outside. This was during COVID and kids were masked, and the kids had to program their circus train to simply go back and forth 2 or 3 feet. And as kids walked by, they saw this parade of circus trains. It was amazing, amazing.
And and there's something about wonderful when the kids are successful.
Yes.
It's something like maybe they don't know exactly the coding, maybe they won't remember as well, but they remember they were successful, they had fun, and they'll likely try it again. So I mean, for people who haven't seen the frogs, I'm gonna get them to do it.
It's amazing. That is so amazing. In one of your videos, you look behind, you look under the hood, and the kids kept wanting to see under the hood. How does that do that? Because it reveals some amazing mechanisms. Yeah, there you go. The magic behind the magic behind the screen. Beautiful stuff.
Cecilia, please say something so we can get the image in full screen, please.
I think she's muted.
Yes, mute your please.
Yeah, we're not hearing her.
Cecilia, you're muted.
Oh, you know what happened? I accidentally bumped the button on my microphone. I'm not used to
That's
that.
why.
I am sorry. I don't know how long that was going on. I'm sorry about that. I'm not used to having a button for muting. So wait, one of the questions was about the design process. Let me see if I can share. Oh, hold on, that's not what I wanted. Let me see if I can share something to show you. Ooh, which one would be good? Oh, maybe with the, let me see if I can share. Okay, can you see that? Yeah. So for me, the design process, I always make a prototype first if I have like an idea. So this one was my prototype for the snake. So at this stage, I'm not worried about how it looks like. I'm just testing. And you can see right there the coding. I do that a lot. I use the iPad and the Hummingbird. Even if I end up using a different board at the end, I always prototype with the Hummingbird just because it's so fast and easy. Because I can have it like with Bluetooth connection. I just press the code and it works. So I make a prototype, then I make sketches thinking of what it'll actually look like. So I'm thinking about size and stuff. And then I make the watercolor the pieces if I'm going to use watercolor, and sometimes I don't. And then I put it together. So and yeah, since the prototype worked, the coding is easier. In this case, this project ended up being more than just one piece. So I also had the hawk, for example. This is me measuring, like trying to make him even. And I'm very messy. I'm very when sketching. So you'll see a lot of this. Like I have paint all over the sketch. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just measuring at this point, because I want, like, okay, so how can I hide the motor? So that's mainly how I work. And then I make the prototypes. Sometimes they work better than others. This was a prototype for the wings. At this point, I am not using motors. I'm just pulling a string. I'm just testing it out. I'm like, oh, I don't, that bit going up didn't work very well. So, and then I made a different prototype with the motor. So at this point, it's all the size that I want. And then I go like I paint with the watercolor paintings, if that makes sense. I take a lot of photos and videos of as I'm working, because I never know when I want to share something or when I'll have a blooper or something. So I do that a lot. Hopefully that answered the question. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Anyway, so yes, I stumbled upon this career as an educator. I didn't set out to do this, but I enjoy it. I enjoy making things, and I enjoy seeing what people make inspired by what I make. It's that is just amazing. I mainly for myself, I do a lot of sketching and illustrating. So it's you know, it works. Works. I have like a dual career kind of thing, and mixing them is it's always a pleasure. Let's see. Thank you, Maureen, for sharing the link. Any other questions? I don't want
Cecilia, I am Samuel from Monterrey, Mexico. You hear me?
Yeah.
Cecilia,
Hola.
For share your passion. It's it's a wonderful activities. I one question. Is the same to inspire to the students to inspire to other teachers? Because you detect some very important for you. You are very good with this activity, but you don't like to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you was a teacher, you need to focus on other academic questions. And this is a creativity, it's a passion, it's an art. When you try to share this idea to other teachers, is the same response like when you teach this to the students?
So yes and no. So the way I've worked with teachers, I always like ask them first, like, what do you want to get the kids to do? What is your goal? I guess this is the graphic designer in me. I always think of them as my client. Like, okay, so what goal do you want the kids to achieve? And then it's like, okay, I can, like with Adrian, we were both learning the new things. She's like, you know what, I trust you. Just show them the technology, show them this, and then she takes over. So it's like a collaboration. Like, okay, so I and that happens a lot with teachers. Like, show them the technology side, and they can take over from there. They can do the classroom management, they can do the curriculum integration. So and like I said, teaching is not my passion. Making stuff is, and teaching, having inspiring other the students and the teachers is also like very rewarding. But and what a good teacher can achieve, with students, it blows my mind. I am always in awe of teachers. I have a project in the back. I don't know if you can see it. I have one that is teachers are number one. Somebody like made fun of me, like, aren't you a teacher? I'm like, I don't consider myself a teacher. I love teachers. I think they're amazing. I love supporting them. That's why I mainly was a teacher's assistant and a Makerspace associate and work with teachers. My teaching after school classes and summer camps, it's just a happenstance, honestly, for me. And yes, I agree. People should check out Jasmine's Twitter account. There's a wonderful community on Twitter. It's funny because a lot of people complain about Twitter, but for me, it's very curated, my experience on Twitter. So teachers are always very generous, and they always share what they're making, and they share what their students are making. And it's like everyone just keeps feeding off each other, and that is wonderful. That's just so amazing what people can do.
Excuse me, now that you finished your formal presentation, let's see who has questions and wants to ask questions, and speak out loud, okay? So we can listen to the question and the answer.
Yeah.
I think it would work better, and then you see the person who's asking to is more, okay? Is that okay for you?
Of course.
Okay. So let's stop with chatting and let's talking, okay? Tonya had a question. Don't know if she still has the question about the process. And Yusen Jun also had a question. Who wants to ask questions?
I think Molly just posted a really good question. I don't know if she's still there about what are your.
Let's see.
Still here. Thanks, Jasmine.
I'm
yeah,
very
just curious what kind of projects you're thinking of ahead, and any kind of plans.
So I'm currently struggling with a pinball machine project, just because I'm being super picky about it. Because I decided to make it a theme around a book I love. And I want to have it like so polished and like the illustrations perfect. So I've been struggling with that one a bit. So that has been my my maker project so far. And see, I have the dual thing, just like Jasmine too. I've been I have a project for illustration that is big. So I've been really busy with that. So I grew up reading comic books. Like my whole life, like I mentioned, my parents like really supported education and anything that would help our future. So like, you want to read comic books in English? Have at it. So like my vocabulary, like my teachers would make fun of me, my English teacher, like, you're like a dictionary, just because I had so much exposure to vocabulary. So I read comics all my life, and nowadays I read graphic novels. I want to make it, like, it's a dream to make a graphic novel for myself. So I have a thing going on with that. So yeah, it's a problem when the maker and the illustration side, like, they have to go, like, it's a balance that sometimes, like, it's not very balanced. Like, you spend more time with one than the other. So yeah. Funny enough, I've never actually taught just art classes. I don't feel like I'm qualified to teach art classes, even though I do a lot of art. So, you know, like my art side is usually less prominent online as my maker side.
Thanks.
Eloisa, the people will be able to watch this on YouTube later.
Yes.
A couple of questions.
Yes, sure. It's recorded and recorded in Zoom also. I'm going to edit and then I'm going to upload on YouTube too.
Yeah. So yes, this will be available. I had a couple of questions like that. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else has anything.
Can we just see the inside of one of your sketchbooks?
Sure.
I was just, when you were scrolling through the Dropbox, seeing all your sketches of the snakes. They were so beautiful.
So I have a ton of sketchbooks. I it's one of my addictions. And I just got this one. So those are my cats.
Is that the sketch?
Yeah, so I'll just like go through this really quick. Sometimes I go to aquariums and I do those live. And I see little interactions, like this kid was playing with a sea lion. I just loved it, so I drew that. Like little characters I have. Anyway, so again, I sketch all the time, so I have tons of things and usually cute little animals, because that's what I also do a lot.
So cute.
Let's see. I just don't know how much to do this. Like I also draw people. So
these are amazing.
Anyway, basically, I have this is one point I wanted to make. Color is hard for me, like thinking about color. So usually my sketchbooks are very rough, especially younger. When I was younger, and I forced myself to sketch with watercolors to make it easier for me to think about colors. So a lot of my sketchbooks are just black and white, just sketches, but this happened to be one of them, my more finished ones, because it's like practicing watercolor. So. Anyway.
Okay, thanks so much for sharing all this beautiful work. Your presentation is amazing. Everybody here is all like this. So I just want to you many times you said, oh, I don't like teaching, I don't like teaching, I want to do things, but as a matter of fact, you don't like teaching like the old way, like the way that it's actually it happens, but it shouldn't be like that. As educators, we should inspire the kids, the students to do that. They should feel our passion and want to do, oh, I want to do that too. I want to do like that. That's the real teacher. I think I would like to make this observation. As a matter of fact, you are a great teacher in the good sense of the word, because you inspire and you make them not only inspire, they do things. You make the children do that. So that's perfect.
Thank you.
Maybe the concept of of what teacher is it's wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
shouldn't
right.
be like that.
Yeah,
I totally agree that a class teacher would be like you. to inspire teachers and to invite them into the knowledge, to the experience, to the full stuff, not only taking books and do like this. That's our what we fight for.
Well, thank you very much.
So, Anders, do you agree?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes. Teaching has come a long way. Sorry. Yeah, teaching has come a long way. And the idea of being sage on the stage is gone. Sharing your passions, approaching teaching in many different ways is the new way of teaching. So locked into the old ways really doesn't exist anymore. You know, teachers have to let go, let kids be creative. And that's becoming more of the way teaching is moving.
Yeah, I mean, the way I grew up, teachers would open the book and read the book, and you were supposed to write everything that they were saying. So dictation was horrid. I never did that. I would draw while the teachers were reading the book, because I'm like, why would I want to write what it says in the book? Right. I can just read the book. But anyway, I was a bit of a rebel at school. So maybe that's why I never thought of myself saw myself as a teacher, because I thought that was boring, and I would see my classmates being awful, and I'm like, why would I want that? But yeah, no, it's so amazing seeing what the kids can do. It's just mind-blowing. Like, wow.
Yeah. I was a science teacher for 10 years, and moving to a hands-on format was difficult because teachers have to let go of that control for a while. And then when I moved into teaching robotics and engineering, I had to let go even more because I put the responsibility on the students. And most students adapt well. Most students embrace being able to do their own thing, follow their own ideas. So I think you would be well suited in the classroom.
Thank you. I mean, I keep teaching classes for like summer camp and all that, so it's always fun. It's
I'm guessing that students respond well to your summer classes.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I showed some of this work they did, and I don't think I showed this one student. He was older. He was like 14, 15, which is for my usual age group. He was older, and he made this beautiful dragon. I don't know if I can grab it. Let's see if I can find his dragon. It was just beautiful, and he told me about how he let me see if I can share. Hold on. Let me see if I can share what he made. Where is it? There we go. Okay. So he made this, and he was cutting all these little pieces of cardboard to give the dragon volume, and
wow.
And just the wings, and he knew exactly the movement he wanted to do.
Wow.
And he had never done any robotics or anything like that. And so he asked me questions like, how can I achieve this? I told him, and he was so grateful because he had not done electronics, and he had a very clear idea of what he wanted to do. He reminded me of myself, like, you have the idea of what you want and you somehow make it work. And yeah, he really liked this. They're all like projects from students, but yeah, it's amazing to see people, the students who you wouldn't think would be into electronics really responding to the art side. Is this summer I'm doing lip syncing robots, which I hadn't done before, and I think the class is already sold out, so I'm excited about that because it's just so amusing. I think like having the robots talk and like thinking of these kids who are really into TikTok and all those things, and then suddenly they can make something that's silly that they can make videos with. I don't know. It's kind of amazing, but I want to see what these kids will do in the future, honestly. Let's see what else. Oh, thank you, Brandy. Oh, learning, creative learning. I'm just reading the comments, sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think we are about to finish the session. Of course, it's just to learn a little bit more about the work. Since the first time I saw it, I was just so attracted. It's beautiful. And so I'm so happy that we could make you come here to share this wonderful, wonderful work with us. It's not only the work, but the things beautiful you do, but how you can get these kids doing other beautiful things. And for sure, in the future, they will be very different because of you. I'm sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. And so, everybody, I'd like to thank you very much for coming here, to old friends and new friends. We are always looking for amazing people, educators, and creative teachers to exchange these ideas. So you are all welcome to our community. We are always here. It's a total non-profit organization. It's made of passionate people. That's it. We struggle to bring it, to share the things we learn, to make this the things better. Okay, so that's why Cecilia is wonderful for you coming here and inspiring so many teachers and educators. Thank you so much. And does anyone want to final considerations? Please, don't be shy. No?
I mean, I don't know if there's anybody.
People are shy. Anders, please.
You say I'm not shy? Okay.
Yes.
It's been amazing session. My head is, okay, what can I do? I have no artist's skills, whatever, but what can I do? So it's just spinning inside here. I have to stop it before I go to bed today. So amazing. But you can write your Twitter and somewhere.
Sure.
I like to follow you. Maybe I follow you already. I don't know.
So I have 2 Twitter accounts, but at Cecilia Hillway is where I make my maker projects. And I also have Instagram. It's the same, at Cecilia Hillway, which confuses a lot of people because my other one is at CO Hillway. But anyway, Cecilia Hillway. My website is CO Hillway. So cohillway.com is my website, which I try to have current, but sometimes it's for the latest projects, definitely Twitter is better. So. Anyway, let me see if I can. Eloisa, do you have like the link for your website for the global?
Yes. Somewhere I have. Yes.
So I think this is for where they have the video sessions, but it has all the more things. Yeah, there we go.
We also have a group on Facebook. So there we used to announce these meetings or conferences and things, interesting things. If you want to join us there, we can learn about the next presentations we may have.
Eloisa, will the YouTube video be posted on the website?
Yes,
The link to it?
it will.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, it will.
Gracias.
And you also have a YouTube channel where you have past meetings and stuff, right? I think, Eloisa. Because hold on, 'cause I saw it. So, this is a link to their YouTube channel too. ¿Qué placa es la que usa? Fabiano, ¿te refieres a qué microcontrolador? I don't see Fabiano. Okay, so this is what I mainly use. So this is a Hummingbird a bit, but I use a lot of different boards that use the microbit. This is the important thing, the microbit, because I've tested almost all of them. So if you ever have questions, I almost did a review video, but people got a little too nitpicky about stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that. So anyway, so this one is a microbit. So let's see, microbit in the back, and this one is Hummingbird. So, yeah.
Hummingbird is what I use with my students.
They're not the cheapest, but
No.
I find that they're the easiest and the most friendly.
Yeah, compared to a lot of platforms out there, they're fairly reasonable.
Yeah, so they come in kits.
Yes.
So they have classroom kits and they're one of the biggest advantages of the Hummingbird over other companies, I find, is that they have an emphasis on having educational resources. So they're very friendly towards teachers. They have a lot of tutorials. They make sure that the community is engaged. So I've tried almost all the boards, and they like this. The company really cares about educators. So this is why I mainly and because you can prototype super easily with them. That's why I use them.
Yes.
So anyway, any other questions? Or the technology or anything, you just let me know.
Michelle, do you want to ask some question?
I'm I'm thinking during the presentation. I love if I have the competence to design, like Cecilia. No, it's amazing. Enjoying the design and technology is perfect. I love everything that I see. It's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And Luisa, one comment. You remember that I used to work with autism, no? This kind of art for these children is amazing. I will try to learn something to use with them.
And you can always use, hacked toys. I mean,
Yes.
Instead of making it from scratch, you can just adapt something. So
You really, including the autists, they love dinos, no? And I saw a lot of dinos in your collection. It's amazing.
thank you.
Good idea. So, Julia, do you want to ask any questions?
I think just that is wonderful. Actually, also the path of her life. I mean, playing with your art and develop new skills and help other people to develop their skills and their lives. I love it, actually. I'm just confused because I love that so much, actually. I'm making a similar path as an illustrator because I also teach to little children a bit of Scratch. But yes, for me it is also a way to find new ways to express myself. So I understand you so much, and I wanted to make more too. Thank you, actually.
Julia, maybe you could share your website or some of your work. So
thank you. I
can
it in the chat. You can see there just an illustration because the Scratch part is not on my website.
Mm-hmm.
I share my
I love Lola.
And as
yes, please.
Developer. This is the website of Lola's Lag, which is my character, www.lolaslag.com. And as an illustrator is Julia Olivares. Okay, this is, you can see it in the chat because I had a computer crash and I restarted everything from zero, and I see a chat where I'm alone basically, but maybe you can see it.
Actually not.
No. Okay. Okay, this is the website of Lola's Lag.
That's handy.
In okay, unplugged way to share a link. Okay, if I will find the way to share it better, I will share.
Thank you, Julia.
And thank you for the passion.
Thank you. So I'm sorry to say, but we have to finish. And once again, thank you so much, Cecilia, for sharing your beautiful, inspiring work with all of us. And this session is recorded and will be soon on YouTube. We will sharing on our website. Okay, so thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next wonderful meeting. I'm so glad that you come. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you so much, Cecilia. It's wonderful. Congratulations for work.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.